Chapter.
Oh, good. Excellent. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Chaska, City of Chaska's Human Rights Commission meeting for February 24th, 2022. We have somebody special with us tonight, being our staff liaison, and that's Kevin Wright. He's the Director of Communications for the City of Chaska, and he is filling in for our new Assistant City Manager, Elise Durbin. She'll be joining the city next week. We're thrilled that she's coming. Sad that we no longer have Nate Cabot, but Kevin is going to be working with us tonight, hopefully keeping us on the agenda, not letting us wander too far. And so thank you, Kevin. But the first thing that we generally do is do the roll call. So Kevin, can you do that for us?
Oh boy, this is fun now too. We've got new people.
I know.
All right, so I guess we'll just go down the line. Commissioner, is it Zayak?
Zyke.
Zayak.
Thank you. Present.
Okay. Commissioner Sanderson?
Present.
Commissioner White?
Present.
Commissioner Haggard?
Present.
Commissioner Welvert?
Present.
Because we do chairperson last, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Hey, this is new. That's Commissioner Hubbard?
Present.
Commissioner Fillmore?
Present.
And then we have Commissioner Kamen?
Present.
And then Chairperson Carlson.
Present.
Oof,
I know.
right on the spot right away.
The last time we had a full house, Commissioner Carlson.
I don't know. It was sometime back in 2021. Let's see, it was before Hannah had her child. Yeah, I
been a
think,
while. It's been a
I
while.
think so. We had Commissioner Spreadberry was on, Commissioner Eder Castillo,
That's you.
right? So it's welcome. I'm so glad to see each of you. And to our Zoom-in audience, or excuse me, our Zoom-in participant, so glad that you're with us also. I just wanted to go over a few things about our meetings. And Kevin, I'll also look to you on the chance that I misspeak. That's possible. But in the event that there is additional information that I should be covering.
Should we adopt an agenda first?
Oh, see, there you go.
There we go.
Yes,
It's exciting.
I know, it is.
It is.
Okay, so this is our agenda. It's been distributed. Are there any changes, deletions, additions?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion to approve.
Second.
Second. All those any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes carried. Now I can welcome everybody officially again. Whew. All right. So welcome to the new people. Welcome to those that are returning. It's so exciting to have a Human Rights Commission that obviously is going to do some great work this year. Just some general housekeeping items. This is a public meeting, and so anyone can come to our meetings. We have temporary approval, is that the correct word, or authorization, to have Zoom in?
Well, yeah, we'll go with authorization.
Okay, so we have temporary authorization to have Zoom in representation. And I'm assuming that also if guests wanted to sign in, they could also attend our meeting.
Yeah, for anybody from the public participating, they can Zoom in at any time. So we'll probably be keeping Zoom up as an option moving forward. But because there's a local emergency declared by the city council, that means commission members and/or council members can participate via Zoom if they need to. But
Excellent.
once the local emergency is lifted, then commissioners and also council members would need to attend in person.
I also believe that the city hall does not require mask wearing at this time, but as you can see, we are all choosing to do so, and will probably continue to do so until numbers decrease. This is a live meeting, so we're live. So people at home are watching us. I'm sure there's thousands of them. And they're going to be enjoying us and our comments and our decisions that we make. And just so that you know, as long as the red light is on, it is being recorded. So sometimes you may whisper something to yourself that you would not want the public to hear. I just want you to be aware that it could possibly be conveyed to all of our listeners. Our meetings are recorded. That means that, as I did today, I went back and I pulled meeting minutes from early last year and the year before to kind of just help me think about how to set the tone for tonight's meeting. And so having them recorded and having them available through the city is just terrific. But know that if you misplace your minutes, if you want to go back and take a look, maybe you even did that before joining the commission, that's a great resource for us. There's a quorum policy, and that means that if 4 or more of us are together, it has to be declared a meeting. So sometimes, because we're all members of the Human Rights Commission and we're passionate about issues in our community, we all want to show up at the same time, at the same place, because we want to support another organization, as an example, in our community. No more than 4 of us can be together at one time. Three of us. Excuse me. I thought it was 4 of us.
But once you get to 4, now you've reached a quorum.
No more than 3.
No more
No
than 3.
more than 3.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying. And so it's very important that if we all want to go to an event, we let our staff liaison know that. And in the future, that will be Elise Durbin. She's very good. She'll be very good about making sure that we kind of are always monitoring our attendance at functions. Things that would change would be like River City Days, which is in July. Probably all of us will be at River City Days because that's a great place to meet and greet. But it'll be posted as a public meeting, so all of us can be there without any worries about the open meeting law violation. So now, I guess I would like to have each of us quickly, or
Chairperson, if one thing I might add, just on the quorum piece, that also goes over to email as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
So if you are looking to, so say the staff person were to email the entire commission to say, you know, love to get your input on X item, we'll say, or just that a meeting's coming up, just make sure you reply directly or just to the staff person. If you were to reply all, then that kind of constitutes, would be constituting a public meeting because you're discussing a topic all together. So the best practice we use is just to reply to the staff, your staff liaison, and then they'll be able to bring that feedback back to the group.
And on a similar note, if you want to get a message out to the commission, then you send it to the staff person and they can distribute it on your behalf.
right,
Could I ask a question about the quorum?
sure.
Since I'm an alternate and I don't vote unless someone's missing from a meeting, do I still affect the quorum if we're at like Pride or something like that?
You are a commission member, so I think you would. But it's, as far as like River City Days or other events like the Martin Luther King Jr. Day breakfast or things, it's, you know, we just have to have a heads up and then we just post it. So it's not an issue per se to be in a quorum, but we just want to make sure we are kind of following the state statutes on that.
Okay, thank you.
And as you can see, my agenda and my running of the meeting, I'm I'm very open to your input. So if I forget something, or if you think I should be doing something else, just please tell me. We try to be very official, but obviously we're not completely official. Oh, yes, we are. We are always official. So, let's see. So at this time, I would like, nothing about repeating myself, I'd like our new members and our returning members to just introduce themselves a little bit, maybe share something that you did today in preparation to coming to the meeting tonight as an icebreaker. Okay, so who wants to start? Okay, great.
I'm not shy. My name's Emily Fillmore, and my husband, my daughter, and I moved here in July for my daughter's figure skating. We moved here for a coach, and we absolutely love Chaska. Had no idea where we were moving. She skates in Shakopee, and absolutely just love Chaska. So today, I have an autoimmune disease and multiple other things, so I slept today so that I would be able to be on tonight. So thank you for having me.
We're delighted.
Or are we going down the line?
Sorry.
Hello, I'm Martin Hubbard. I think I've been on the committee for a year now. What did I do today? I worked today, and I took a shower for you after I got off of work. Get ready for the meeting. Dressed up just for you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My name is Jen Welvert, and my husband and I live in Chaska for the last 17 years. We have 2 daughters that are in college at Minnesota State Mankato. And I've been on the commission this is the start of my 6th year, did we figure out?
I think so, yes.
It's the final year of my 2nd term, I think. And today.
But you're not projecting, are you? When you say final?
Of my 2nd term.
Oh, okay.
We're allowed to serve 3 terms, correct?
You're throwing a lot of questions my way on my one time here.
correct.
I think you do get 3 terms, but
I'm testing our liaison to see how.
Poor Kevin. He's already doing great. Come on.
see if I last the meeting here.
You're doing great.
Oh, thank you.
And today, to get ready for tonight, I parked outside because I knew I would be driving down again later. And so I scraped up my car before I came here.
Tracy, do you want to go next?
Sure, I'm happy to. Hello, everyone. I am Tracy Kamen. My fiance and I bought a house in Chaska in November, so we're fairly new to the community. I'm also fairly new to Minnesota. I moved here in March of 2021 from the East Coast. I'm a Marylander by nature. I work for the Minneapolis Jewish Federation by day. I'm excited to do this in the evening. In preparation, I went through a couple months worth of these agendas and agenda packets just so I could familiarize myself with the work you've been doing and see how I can be the most useful.
Great. Okay, I'm Sarah Carlson. Let's see, I've been in Chaska since 2001. My family, my parents, and my brother had moved to this area back in the late 70s. And so I would come to Chaska on my annual vacations to see my family. And so when opportunity presented to move here from California, we did. And so I am delighted to have a Human Rights Commission that can hopefully impact and improve the quality of life for all of our folks here in Chaska. So glad to be with you tonight. Oh, what did I do today? I worked on the computer. I took care of the dog. I did some snow removal. That's about it.
Good evening, I'm Kaylee Haga, I'm the vice chair of the commission. I think, is this our 4th year, Sarah?
Yes, I
Okay.
believe, no,
5th?
no, definitely not that.
It's either 4th or 5th.
Yes, 4th.
Okay, we came on together. So I moved to Chaska in 2011, so it's been 11 years. I have 3 boys, and my husband and I live in the Clover Ridge neighborhood, and I work for the school district. And today we were doing a smoothie bar to express our appreciation for the staff at Jonathan Elementary. We're going to go to all the school districts, but it feels fitting for Human Rights Commission because we're building community and we're taking care of the people in our community, so. And I saw Sienna at Chaska High School.
There you go.
I'm Sienna White. I've lived in Chaska for most of my life, and I'm a junior at Chaska High School. This will be my 2nd year as the youth representative. And something I did to prepare for today was I was just kind of thinking about the first meeting I was for here, and I remember it being virtual, so I'm just very grateful that we can be in person. I can see almost all of you. So yeah, I'm just super excited.
I am Hannah Sandison. It's also my 2nd year on the commission, and we moved to Chaska 1 month before the pandemic. So we got a house right before everything went crazy, so I'm grateful for that. And let's see, today, well, I'm actually I work for a human rights nonprofit, so I just can't get enough human rights in my life. So I did that today in preparation for the meeting. And I also did a safe but speedy daycare pickup to make sure that I could get here on time.
Hi, my name is Wana Zaig. I am a cisgender 43-year-old woman, first-generation immigrant from Romania. Mother, well, I'm a daughter, I'm a wife, and I'm also a sister. And I'm the mom of 2 neurodivergent, beautifully neurodivergent autistic kiddos. And one of them also identifies as queer. And the identities that I bring to the table are the main reasons why I'm here. And I'm so excited to be here. And what I did, I watched quite a bit of news today. It's incredibly sad what happens in Ukraine. And so my heart goes to people in Ukraine. And yeah, I reviewed some of the minutes and some of the recordings of the meetings. So I absolutely agree. The recordings are fantastic.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, again, welcome to everyone. First item on our agenda, the second item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from our meeting in December 16th, 2021. Are there any corrections to the meeting minutes? Having heard none, may I have a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve.
Thank you, Martin. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jen. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carry. Open forum and guest presentations. This will show up on our agendas in the future. I wanted to have it for you tonight because there are 3 organizations that have contacted me, actually a 4th one because I had a contact yesterday, that want to come and present what they do and how they do it to the Human Rights Commission this year. And they are Beyond New Beginnings, Southern Valley Alliance, Act United, which is an anti-child trafficking organization, and the Carver County Housing Collaborative. Generally, we have guest presentations. Some may come and ask for our support. Others are coming to provide us with information about other organizations in our community. So this will be important perhaps for our future agendas. I don't know if any of you have any suggestions or ideas for other organizations that may be interested in coming.
Commissioner Carlson, what, Beyond New Beginnings, that's the only one I'm not familiar with. Can you speak to what they do?
Beyond New Beginnings, in conjunction with the Carver County Community Development, purchased a house over on Walnut Street. There, they provide 4 apartment units for young mothers, or young women and their children, who will be transitioning through the school district. This is the school district, not 112, but,
110?
no, not Waconia.
Is it the intermediate?
Oh, okay, Southwest Metro.
Yes,
Southwest
Southwest
Metro.
Metro. So they have, like I said, 4 apartment units. They have a community space. They're doing some great things with the young women, and are in the process of hiring a part-time executive director.
I know that we talked about last year before, I think it was right before Pride, at the end of the school year, having the Chaska High School GSA come in and speak to us. I would love to extend an invitation to them pre-Pride this year to come in and talk about that. And I would certainly be happy to spearhead that. But I know we talked to them last year about presenting, and it just didn't work out timing-wise because it was already the end of the year, and it'd be great to have them in, especially as we consider Pride.
Absolutely. And so if you're willing to make contact with them,
Yeah.
we could certainly put that, all of these organizations have said, just put us on your calendars for this year sometime. There's no commitments to date. So if you want to do that, considering that we'll be doing some heavy green card voices in March, April, and then if we do the Pride picnic, which is in June, the Pride celebration, we would certainly want to hear from them maybe in April or May. That'd be great.
I will reach out.
And if any of you have any contacts with other organizations that you think would be helpful for us to know about, and to include in our agendas, please let me know, or let Elise Durbin know. Treasurer's report. Nate, can you give us, Nate? Oh, my gosh. I am so sorry,
Been up here for
Kevin.
that long, so I don't, that's, high praise to be called Nate, so.
Stand in, Nate.
Yes, stand in, Nate, yeah.
Stand in, Elise.
Right, exactly. So, I would like that if the History Center does a book on the 2020s, that I at least get a mention as probably one of the shortest tenured city staff liaisons to the commission. So if we can make a note of that, that's going to be,
I'm writing it down right now.
it is now in the meeting minutes, so it's been
Yes.
entered, so
And-
that's great.
And please know, Kevin, that we'll be happy to make a recommendation or a referral on your resume to.
Yes, thank you. This is a great resume builder. So this is one I took on with great joy. So if I'd also answered the question of what I was doing today, this would have been the answer here, the treasurer's report. So.
You also need an entry as photographer.
Yeah, it's true. Good point. Yeah, I can sign that later if you want, but.
Sure. Oh,
No, so this year, there's actually now an actual budget code for the Human Rights Commission, so it's, will be even easier to track expenses as we go along. So there is, if you didn't get to see the report, it was added this afternoon. It's in your agenda packet there, but you can see most of the costs for January were associated with the MLK Day Human Rights Celebration. The Crooked Pint expense was for kind of setting up the space with the table or with linens, and then some light catering services like juice and water, and some serving utensils and things like that. Then the Facebook ad was to promote the event, speaker fee for Jonathan Palmer, and then performer fee, that was for the Arts Consortium of Carver County artists that came and sang and played piano, or keyboard, I guess. And then the Human Rights Award plaques are also on there as well.
Great. What our treasurer's report does not reflect is an additional $350 that $250 of which was given to the Human Rights Commission last year by the Chaska Rotary. And that, Kaylee and I gave a presentation to the Chaska Rotary to help offset the expenses of Green Card Voices. And so they will help us promote Green Card Voices. And are our partners in doing that event. In addition, I received $100 as an anonymous donation to offset the expenses of the Human Rights Commission Green Card Voices event. So just wanted to make sure that all of you knew that we have an additional $350 added to the total of $3,730.03.
So,
Would you like me to reflect that in the treasurer's report for next time?
Yes, please.
Under January?
Yes,
So you said
please.
the first number was $250 from,
And that was sent to Kelly in the finance department? I
Oh,
believe
yeah.
that's her name?
yes, Kelly Grinnell.
Yes.
Yep.
So I believe
And that was from Chaska Rotary?
it was indeed. And
And
then I just received this other $100 donation anonymously. I didn't bring the check yet, but I will bring it over to the city for
Okay.
deposit.
Yep, I'll enter that in, so that'll be in the running tally.
Great. For the new members of the Human Rights Commission, I want you to know that this is the first year that we were granted a budget of $5,000. In the past, we were only allowed or authorized $2,000. And working with the city staff last year, we were able to say we need more in order to effectively have programming for the Human Rights Commission. And the city council approved that. The deal is with this money is that we spend it or we lose it. So there's no carrying over of funds. So when we're sitting here in December 2022, we're saying, gosh, how come we didn't spend that money? I'll remind you gently of this conversation. We'll want to spend all of our money, if we can, in a great way this year. So,
And maybe while we're on the treasurer's report, this might be a good time to also bring up if the new commission members would, or if the commission would like to get the new commission members' name tags.
yes.
And also, I believe, T-shirts.
Oh, yes, I forgot about the T-shirt option.
So
That's
many,
right.
many options, so
Sandy.
exciting.
You didn't wear yours
Yeah.
today. She has it on at school. That's why it's proud of her. It's that bright yellow, man. You can
Yeah,
see that
that's,
from a mile
that's,
away.
So we have T-shirts, yellow with our green logo. I'm wearing my name tag tonight. I don't know if you all can see it. But we can order those for you in addition to your T-shirt. And you should probably forward the information about the size of the T-shirt to, let's wait till Elise gets on board, but, or maybe Kevin, you handle that?
yeah, I can handle it. I know Denise Beebe, who you've all received an email from, typically does the order. So if you'd like, you can also just respond to her. But to make it easy, you can just, I'll send an email out after the meeting. And then if you want to just respond to me with your size of choice, then we can go that route.
In addition, the city will also provide business cards. So if you're interested in having business cards that would say your name and the fact that you are a member of the Chaska Human Rights Commission, I use my cell phone number as a contact. So if you want that, that would also be part of a message to Denise, if you'd like to have business cards.
Yeah, you can just I'll send an email out with some of these options afterwards, and that way someone's request doesn't get lost.
Great. Thank you, Kevin.
Happy to help.
So I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Motion made by Jen. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Hannah. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carry. Recapping the MLK event. So those of us who were on the committee working with the city staff and Parks and Recreation staff, which was Jen, Sienna, and myself, I think we had a successful Human Rights Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Day. We had a follow-up meeting to the event itself. We reviewed maybe 15 items or so. Sienna, you weren't able to join us that day. Jen, do you have any comments about that?
I think it was wonderful to be back in person again, to have this event after having it all virtual the year before. It was just fun to feel the energy, have the live music, be with the speaker and hear his words. And I mean, it's just one of my favorite community events all year. And I look forward to it again next year too. We had a few hiccups, you know, getting back into the swing of live again, but I think we had a great follow-up meeting where we had received feedback from people in the public and then things that we had noticed as well, so that we have some great notes to go on for next year to keep in mind to make it run as well as possible. I thought the music was just fantastic this year. It was something different. We hadn't worked with the Carver County Arts Consortium before on that, and so it was some new artists that had come into the space and very well received. I really enjoyed that we added the piece that had community reflections, where we, brought a quote and asked public to just kind of reflect on a Martin Luther King quote, and what it meant to them. And it was great to see different people in the community and, what the day meant to them and how they're living out Dr. King's legacy or what it means to them. I thought that was really powerful. I don't know, Art, do you have any other highlights?
It's at the Dr. King celebration that we award the Chaska Human Rights Award. And this past year, we awarded actually 2. We received 5 nominations. The commission reviewed those nominations, and 2 organizations were awarded the Human Rights Award. 1 went to 3 young women with Girl Scout Troop 15554. I hope I'm remembering that correctly. They are responsible for the Little Free Pantry, which is located on 4th and Walnut. And then the second organization that received the award was the His House Foundation, which provides a resource center, a food abundance distribution program, and support for those coming out of homelessness. So I think that's also a big highlight of our celebration. Sienna or Kaylee, you were both there. Hannah, you were there. Martin, you were...
I was not there.
You were not there. I recall where you were. Any other observations?
I don't know. I think it was a great event. I think we got a lot of participants there, a wide variety of ages and backgrounds and everything, so I really liked it. I think the speakers were great. I think the music was great, and I just think overall it was really good, and I can't wait for next year's.
I think I think that means you might be signing up on for that committee.
Yeah, no, I thought it went very well. I mean, as I think nobody is surprised, attendance was a little down, but it was also the height of Omicron. I think we've got lots of room to build, and I don't think that was a reflection on the momentum. It was just people making different choices, and so I'm excited to see what happens next. I loved the addition of the artwork by students. I thought that video was great, so I love the idea of trying to bring as many voices into the space as possible from the community.
Absolutely. And if you're in Chaska Library, right downstairs, on the far wall, you will see a mural of Dr. King, which was created by students that was painfully, I don't know if that was painful process or not, piecing all of them together to make this very large mural.
No, it was fun. Yeah, so it was some art classes from La Academia that put them together. So we have one mural still down in the library over in the kind of the children's book section.
Yeah.
Where they actually have a Black History Month kind of display. And then the other mural is over in the community center art gallery. So it's a part of, I'm not sure what the theme is this month, but it's, I think, student-based art. So it fit in well there.
Great.
And the library was so thrilled with it that they're actually, I think, going to be working with the same art teacher on some other themed murals just for the library throughout the year.
That's terrific.
Can I add something too?
Absolutely.
I just thought of that, there are 3 commissioners on a committee for when you're planning events like this that then bring ideas to the commission meetings. But the MLK committee worked in conjunction with Parks and Rec and City of Chaska. And we have to just say thank you to Kevin, because you were such a huge part of planning this and pulling things together. And so I just really appreciate, the time you spent with the commission and what you bring to our MLK celebration. It really was cool.
Well, and next year we'll make sure to test the sound beforehand. So, yeah. No, but and Sienna, also thank you for, collaborating with some of your friends and classmates on the community reflections. I thought they all did just a fantastic job and made me think. So it was great.
May I add? So my husband and I and our daughter were part of the audience. So it was a very good event, and as I was watching the videos, which were fantastic, by the way, the recording, and I was hoping, and people saying in different languages, where they're from and whatever, welcome to Chaska or about Chaska. I was hoping that next year there will be a Romanian in there too. So
Absolutely.
Well, I feel like we've got a line to a Romanian who might be able to be in that.
Absolutely.
You have a volunteer, I think.
I think so too. Like I said, thank you for your work, Sienna, Kevin, Jen, for helping bring this event to, I think, just another wonderful opportunity to share what we're passionate about in Chaska. So, thank you, thank you. Anything else about recapping MLK? No?
The last thing I'll mention is the full video is now up on our YouTube channel. So,
Wonderful.
and then we also broke out the community reflections as a separate video.
Oh,
It's in
wonderful.
the main video too, but it's also, if you just wanted to watch the community reflections, it's a separate video. So I'll send out both the links to those. In case you were watching on the day of, the live feed didn't get started till a little bit later, so we had to go back and put in the beginning again, so.
Is that on our website or just on the YouTube?
It's on the YouTube channel. Mhm.
Discussion of goals and objectives for 2022. Wow. Let me backtrack a little bit and talk about the strategic plan. The commission worked with the city and the city council members to develop recommendations on how the Human Rights Commission can complement the city of Chaska and its activities. We felt that the commission had been in existence for 20 years, and all excellent work done by previous commissions and their service to the community, but we felt that we wanted to be a little bit more nimble and responsive to our community. And so we worked with city council representatives and the city staff in 2020 and developed a strategic plan. This is something that's available on the website if you wanted to go back and take a look at it. But we wanted to have some goals, I should say, each year to kind of support the plan. And a piece of that is to proactively partner with community members and groups. And that's why earlier when I said we had 4 groups that wanted to come and talk with us, that's because they see what we are doing in the community and want to be a part of that and want to be our partners as we bring activities to Chaska. We also want to be a representative on various task forces or work outside of the Human Rights Commission, but recognize that the Human Rights Commission brings a unique perspective as the city does planning. And so recently, Martin volunteered,
I did this time, yes.
to be our liaison to the work that will be beginning. I'm not sure when it officially begins, but working with the city of Chaska on taking a look at the activities and the physical facilities of the Chaska Community Center. And so he will be our representative to that work that is being undertaken. We also, so in that role, we want to be a group that advises the staff and also advises city council. You know, all of us come from areas in the city that have a city council representative who are engaged. They want to know what we're doing. So that is something that we really are striving to have that open communication with our city council representatives. And also to provide guidance to the staff on any initiatives that they determine are important and will undertake. An example of that is the downtown city square development. We heard about that last year. I'm sure that we'll be hearing more about that this year again. So again, they invite us as a willing participant. Community engagement and education. Again, bringing programming to our city. We've identified several areas that we thought in 2021 would be good for us to do in 2022. One was Green Card Voices, the Pride event celebration. We have a presence at River City Days. Perhaps a fall event. Preparing the Dr. King celebration event in January. And also, we'll need to do some updating of our webpage. And Hannah and I worked on that very briefly last year and relied on Kevin's communication skills to help us update a little bit. We probably need to do more of that. So those are the kinds of activities that we looked at in 2021 that we would bring forth to 2022. But of course, we welcome any ideas or suggestions that you may have about programming. Yes,
So I'm going to read this because I will mess it up if I try to remember it. My friends back in St. Louis, in the anti-racism arena, have been fighting against the banning of books. And they are arranging, on Teacher Appreciation Week, they're trying to arrange a nationwide walk on April 30th to both support teachers and also kind of highlight the Let Them Learn movement about not banning books about anti-racism and LGBTQIA issues. And so it's really soon, but I wanted to bring it up just in case there was any chance that we wanted to potentially talk about it. I know it's, very soon, but it's an emergency in St. Louis in Missouri. I'm not really, I'm not in, tapped into the schools here because my daughter we homeschooled and now she's in college. But I just wanted to bring it up in case it was something that you guys wanted to consider doing around here.
sure.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Well, I'm noticing that you put a couple of stars on your paper.
Oh, I doodle while I'm listening. I'm restless.
Aha.
Sorry.
Well, what do you think?
Sorry, I was just going to ask for the definition of IA at the end of the LGBTQ.
LGBTQIA, oh my gosh. You're,
Anyone.
intersexual,
and
and A is asexual or aromantic, and then there's a plus at the end. So anyone else that is not cisgender or straight, heterosexual.
And sometimes you see a 2S, which is for two-spirit, which is the indigenous. Sometimes you see a 2S, which is for two-spirit, which is the indigenous term for transgender.
Thank you. I did not know that one yet.
I did not know either.
Any thoughts about supporting that effort?
Anyone involved in the school know if there's anything happening in our district?
So we are not seeing the legislation here around books specifically. I think there are some bills in the Senate, maybe. But given the makeup of the legislature, I think probably pretty slim chances of them passing. I don't think there's been a whole lot of local energy around that. Certainly that it's matriculated up to the district level. But certainly we see it happening in many states around us, so it's not something that people here I haven't heard about and are wondering about, so.
And banned books, just to clarify, are the ones that are not allowed to be purchased by a school district and be housed in a library, correct? Not,
Both that and being taught in the classroom. And so, for instance, a school district that was about 5 miles from my house in St. Louis banned I'm sorry, it just slipped my head, but Bluest Eyes, yes. They pulled that from the school completely. They're also prohibiting some in the classroom ever even speaking about what it means to be gay.
There's unfortunate legislation happening all around the country. Florida's got a bill that significantly limits the ability.
And something happened in Texas today
It
or
was this
yesterday
week.
where now teachers can call DFS if they allow children to be considered transgender. It's heartbreaking.
It's not just DFS. It's anybody who is a first obligated to respond. But any child who's
report.
receiving services, gender affirming services, is considered a victim of child abuse.
Yeah. So it's pretty prevalent right now.
We have not seen that kind of legislation here in Minnesota
Yeah.
yet.
So I don't want to open a can of worms, but also I don't want to ignore that if it is something that kids in particular, because that's what's happening in some of the states where it's going on, is kids are standing up and saying this isn't okay. And so I didn't know if it's not happening here, if that would be something empowering for kids to say, don't do this to us. But I don't know also if that would then mobilize, you know. But I just wanted to offer it as a.
I'd just like to let especially the newer commissioners know about this, that one thing I've learned since I've been serving on the commission is that our role as a commission is to educate the community. It's not necessarily to advocate for one side or the other. And so I think, you know, if we can figure out a way to educate about what's going on in other school districts or even nearby, you know, depending on the situation, if we can find a way to educate them and why it matters that you should know about something like that, then I think that's a really good use of our time. And we just have to look at it through the lens of education and not a protest or something like that, you know. And so I think that helps form how we pick and choose what events we're going to sponsor as a commission or be a part of. And it also affects the way that we present it when we do have those. So I just think that's important to know as we're going into any of the events that we're doing.
Well, and I think that, you know, as we talk about bringing the GSA in, you know, Chaska High School has now a Students Organizing Against Racism group that's been doing some really great work. And so maybe we invite both student groups to come in and talk about sort of what they're seeing and what support they would look to from us, because certainly at the high school level, we've seen several communities around us just in the last week have some significant racism become obvious and known to the broader community. So I would be interested in the student perspective and how they would like to partner and what they're seeing and hearing.
Yeah, and I think going back to the guest presentation and open forum, that is a great way for the commission to know what groups there are in this community and learn about what they're doing as maybe an activist group or something, and what is the best way that we could help support something that we, you know, they align with our values in certain ways. So a lot of times it's great when we have groups come in because we can say, yes, we support this as the Human Rights Commission, but we find ways that we can help support it that are appropriate for our roles.
So are you willing to share more information from your friends in St. Louis?
Yes, I mean, right now, or
No.
send it to the, yes, I can send more information.
Yep,
And
yep.
then have it distributed.
That'd be
Yes.
terrific.
Yes, and actually, one of my friends actually runs 2 nonprofits that are anti-racism education and also advocating to have education be allowed in schools to make sure that we're not, you know, shutting down all the education. So I can also share her information. Maybe we could, you know, see if she wants to talk to us a little bit or whatever, but I can definitely send that information over.
Yeah.
That'd be terrific. Thank you.
Thank you, yes.
And you can, I mean, for the beauty with Zoom now is you can have visitor presentations that the person does not need to be in the room.
Exactly.
I was thinking that too, so thank you. Thank you for listening.
Commissioner Waller, I have a question. So when you talk about education and educating the community, what are the avenues that happens? And like, is it via social media, doing presentations? Like, how is the education delivered to the public? So how do we do that as a commission, I guess?
Well, our commission has mainly done that through different community events, whether it's that we, a few years ago, we did a presentation about the Holocaust, and I can't think of the name of
Judy Mizell,
Yeah,
Judith Mizell.
but I'm trying to think of the name of that.
Transfer of
Transfer of
memory.
memory.
Transfer of memory exhibit. So we brought in a group that had pictures and interviews similar to Green Card Voices that were of survivors of the Holocaust. And so the public was invited to the community center to go through the exhibit, and then we also offered a night where there was a survivor who came and spoke to the community, Judy Mizell, and she, you know, was incredible to listen to. You know, just talking about her experiences and her reflections on the matter and everything. And, you know, we've had things like the Pride Picnic last year where we invite the whole community, and, you know, maybe some people do not know a whole lot about LGBTQ. And so we create a space that you can come and learn at your comfort level. It was a fun community event, whether you asked 100 questions or you came and had ice cream and just interacted with the community to celebrate diversity, you know. And so I think, you know, it's just the educational opportunities need to be I feel like they need to be appropriate to have anyone who either has no knowledge about something or very, you know, a lot of knowledge about something, and they can speak to it and everything. And we've had times where we've had community conversations where we just have dialogues about things, you know. There's many different ways that we can do education by bringing in some people that are experts on the topic and then having opportunities to learn from that.
I think we also did the series around Race, the Power of Illusion, where we viewed the documentary and then we had facilitated conversations. I think one of the challenges has been in a pandemic for 3 years. And so we had really built some momentum, and then we stopped seeing each other and being in community together. And so I think there's a lot of opportunities to sort of re-engage on that and figure out how we can meet different parts of the community and bring the community together. So as you have ideas, I think we're all ears, so.
There was also was it Compassionate Response Team? Is that what it's called?
Chaska
Empathetic.
Cares?
No, empathetic response.
Empathetic, yeah. Eder and Seth, I think,
Yes.
would write kind of a response to things happening in the community, and it would either run in the paper or on Facebook or something, kind of, rather than a big event, it was just kind of a.
And there's a Facebook page for the Human Rights Commission too?
We have this, we use through the city of Chaska, right? We don't do
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Okay,
communications will just, they run through the city's page.
I will also say that Kevin is a very effective ghostwriter for the commission as well.
Yeah, I've been called on a few times. It's always fun. So, well, I guess it's important work.
Yeah.
And sometimes too, I think Seth and Eder had the response to the anti-Asian hate
Yeah.
as well. So there was I think they had 2 or 3 that they wrote, not specific to that, but that was one example too.
Martin? Looks like you're going to say something.
No, I think that everyone here brings a different perspective, and I think we have to think outside the box. Does that make sense? So every idea is important. There's no one way to get that education across. So I just throw that out there. You know, right now, yes, we do River City Days or MLK this or the Pride Picnic, but I think there's more out there. We just have to have a body of people who can express themselves on behalf of the city. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents. See, you should let me alone.
Now, you were clearly ruined. There was.
That's great, 2 cents. Is there a 2 cents, like, is there a 4 cents on top of that of an idea of how?
There is. So now I want to go back. You brought up the GSA, and we were talking about LGBTQ. Is there some way to make sure that they're really involved in planning our Pride Picnic or Pride Month?
Yes, they were heavily involved with the first one. And so, yes, I think absolutely we want to partner with them again. That was a big driver of turnout, I think. And it was a really great space for our youth in the community.
It was the highlight of our summer.
It was amazing.
I had, my daughter brought her friends with, and we celebrated, really, and to see that for the first time ever in Chaska was so, and I had no idea that the Human Rights Commission was behind it until I watched the recordings. So, yes, yes.
Absolutely.
But I think to your point, if I'm gleaning it, is how do we elevate different voices in the community and support them rather than just being the drivers ourselves?
Yes, ma'am. And the last thing, and then I'm going to shut up. I'm kind of, for the new folks, I'm kind of quiet all the time. Teacher support. I find that important. Not necessarily about banning books or about books. We did have, the district came and asked for us to help buy books, but how can we as a commission help support our teachers better? I don't think we support them at all right now. That's just me. I don't know. But how can we support them? Does that make sense? I'm just throwing that topic out there. I don't have the answer. But what can we do over the year or the next year? So I think there's wonderful ideas. I don't protest. It's too much work.
Oh, okay.
300 pounds for a reason, so I don't walk.
Martin.
Well, thank you. And I don't necessarily see that walk as a protest. I see that as empowering kids to take some, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to warn you guys. Sometimes the words don't come because of my disease and my medication. So I see that as giving a chance to kids to just speak out. And maybe if we do decide to do that walk, maybe we could use that as a jumping point to show the teachers that we're here. Because if that has been a problem, and one of the things I said in my interview is, since I'm so new, I don't know the problems here or all the wonderfulness of Chaska. So I'm here to listen and learn. But maybe that would be a wonderful time to say, hey, teachers, we're here for you. What can we do to help you too? If we decide to do it, if we're able to get it in time. But thank you for that. Yeah.
Oh, it's a pretty full plate already, Madam Chair.
It is indeed. It is indeed. And it's so heavy, I think that when I think about our next item of business, which is to nominate the chair, vice chair, and treasurer, I'm thinking that we've got some heavy lifting this year.
Does that mean we're moving on?
No, I was just reflecting there for a moment about responsibilities. So what do we think about our goals and objectives for this year? I've heard that we need to do something with anti-racism, banning of books, teacher support, get more involved with our community at the high school or within the school districts, within the school district. What else?
I think the richness of Chaska, it's in the identities of its residents, right? So if we can in some way elevate those voices and give agency to Commissioner Felsen's point, to actually, and just openness to come and say who they are, what they could bring to the table. This could make really truly Chaska the town that you want to live in. Because I believe there are a lot of identities and some of them do clash. And having those both sides at the table would be beneficial. And to Commissioner Hubbard's point, I think in terms of like educating and support for the educators would be potentially if we can suggest some education materials for the educator in support of the children, of the students. And probably there's a lot that has already been done by the district, I'm pretty sure. But if the commission could suggest some of those trainings, maybe, and then that could really lend a voice to the teachers, to lend a voice to students, to be more, outspoken about what the issues are, I guess, I don't know. But then at the same time, like, do we have an idea of who those identities in the Chaska area are? And how can we honor all of those identities, or some of those identities, in some way or another? And I think the events that have been organized have been fantastic, and similar to the Pride Picnic, to organize more of those, similar to those, because those are really marginalized communities, and elevate those voices. But I don't know if that would fit into the goal of the commission overall for this year, for example. And focusing on those marginalized voices would be a start.
I would say it fits in there. Excuse me. Well, I think we just have to have the bodies to do it. But I think personally, I think it fits. Commissioner Carlson came up with a calendar last year. How do I put it? On the calendar was somebody help me out.
It was like Black History,
Yeah.
Women's
Significant
History,
days.
Indigenous
Significant
peoples.
months, Black history, and so forth throughout the year. And it was a great calendar. It's really detailed. How we can celebrate all those different heritages throughout the year, but we just didn't have enough bodies, really, and enough time to do it all. And I think the more we can stay engaged as a commission, the more we can put those type of things out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're saying exactly what she put together last year, and what she wanted to do last year, or over the course of the year. We just have to have the time to do it.
And to Commissioner Hagan's point, I mean, it was a pandemic, so you got the momentum and then you lost it, and then.
The one thing that happened with our calendar, we called it the diversity calendar, for lack of a better words to describe it, was that it's my understanding that the City of Chaska staff, now when they open a month, they see that, as an example, February would be Black History Month. And so that was something that didn't exist before, but I understand now it does. So again, it's just a subtle way to bring an awareness that kind of grew out of our diversity calendar proposal. I certainly have a copy of the diversity calendar that we worked on last year, and I can certainly make it available to Denise and/or Kevin to send out to everyone again. But it did it helped me and to focus on everything's important, but maybe this month I need to really think about how I can change, how can I contribute to this effort. So.
And oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm just taking what both of you said, and I'm wondering if, especially because it's so soon, rather than like doing the walk that feels like a protest to you, which I honor and I understand.
I was just making a joke.
Oh, no, it's okay, because it could potentially be marginalizing or antagonistic or whatever, but based on what you're saying about those meetings or talks, if trying to organize a walk is too much at this point, maybe we could do something where it's more like a meeting on that date and still like participate in this movement of people trying to do something together on that day to encourage education, supporting teachers, and do something where we encourage kids and teachers to come together at a meeting and talk about how important learning about, learning about anti-racism or people learning from the LGBTQIA community, and then getting that buy-in of asking people from those communities to come and speak about how they feel when that kind of stuff is being pulled out of schools, or when they hear it's getting pulled out of schools in other states. And so then we could still be participating in that movement, but maybe not trying to put together a whole walk
Exactly.
so soon. And then it's kind of still going with the tenor of what you guys have done in the past. I don't know. That's a thought to make it more uniform. And does that feel like less of a protest?
No.
No.
What came,
You and I are going to be friends.
we are. We're friends with everybody.
Our friends.
I think because we're kind of, how do I put this? We're kind of stuck on what do we want to do for 2022 goals and objectives. And what a lot of what is being said really brings us down to our different committees, right? We have a program committee, and only a couple of them are listed this year, but we have program committee, calendar committee, all these different committees in which we can take these ideas and plug them into a calendar, get people working on them, because they're all great ideas. And I think, if we use her, Commissioner Carlson's calendar as a template and then add to it, because she doesn't have everything. We don't know everything. And so add more to it and take out what doesn't need to be this year, I think will push us in the right direction, because you all are on this committee for 3 more years.
Exactly.
One invite that I want to throw out, and I promise I won't keep quiet for a little bit, is to figure out ways in which this calendar could actually cover the intersectionality between racial, sexual, and approach the events through the lens of social justice, disability justice, racial justice, because there's a lot of intersecting identities that come to the table, going back to what Commissioner Fillmore was saying, that basically having one identity is just one side of it. So focusing the events and the education that we could do as a commission in the community on the intersectionality of those identities, I think would be beneficial, because there could be like an overarching kind of goal when we do set up the calendar. So just a thought.
I think you have a calendar committee person, program committee person, but when I say that, I don't say it as, okay, it's going to be 12 months, but you have an idea, you have a mindset where you can plan something or think about something for over a course of years, whether it's 12 months or 18 months, but fit everything in that needs to be fit in. We're working on, from the past, we're going to do this in 12 months because we need to get it done by December instead of this is our long-term plan. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Commissioner,
do have a quick question / thought here. I know it's a little bit difficult on Zoom, but wanted to jump in. To the extent that national themes are provided, for instance, Women's History Month, the National Women's History Alliance comes out with the annual theme, and this year it's Women Providing Healing and Hope. Does the Human Rights Commission do anything with those national themes to plan their programs and events, or is that not to consider or use in our planning year?
Well, we're sort of in year 2 of using a calendar, so I think we're still evolving. That's certainly something that could be part of if you're on it. Well, I think we combined calendar and program, didn't we?
Yeah.
we did, yeah.
So I think that's something that we can certainly bring as we're looking to plan the next year and those kinds of things.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move forward. We'll take these ideas to our program committees, committee, I should say, and calendar committee. But for the benefit of our time tonight, let's take care of a little bit more housekeeping in terms of establishing those committees and nominating chair, vice chair, and treasurer. Just a brief description, treasurer really isn't a treasurer in the sense that you have to write checks or balance the checkbook. That is all done by the city of Chaska for us. Their finance department are great. We submit the bills. If there are bills, generally the bills are paid by the city staff and they're reported back to us as being paid. So if you're thinking about being a treasurer, there's no balancing of the checkbook. The only thing that we have to be cognizant of is the total number of dollars that we have and just utilizing them as best as we can in our programming through the year. The vice chair, got gosh, Kaylee has been the vice chair. I was a vice chair for Jen when Jen was our chairperson. Fill in when meetings aren't available, when the chair is not available. Help with preparing the agenda, direct the discussions of the programming, participate in the committee reports and committee activities. And as chair, gathering the group, hopefully energizing you to carry things out, and offering perspective for how we can proactively partner with community organizations that exist in Chaska and that can further our ideas. So with that in mind, I'd like to open the nominations for treasurer. Are there any nominations?
Maybe one quick point, just for those that are new.
Of course. That's why you're here, Kevin. Thank you.
Well, apologies to Kaylee, I accidentally wrote Jen as the vice chair. So I was asking the wrong questions today when I was asking about what committee you were in. So my apologies. But anyway.
That's your job.
Yeah, right? The nomination of the chair and vice chair would then go to city council for approval. So that would go to their next meeting, typically as a consent item, which doesn't usually require discussion, but then they approve it. The treasurer, you can approve here and now. So just to make that point of clarification.
Thanks, Kevin. But
No, please.
I was just going to say, I'm not sure why we have a treasurer position.
We didn't last time, I don't think.
We didn't because,
Nate was our de facto.
Yeah, typically staff has performed the role of treasurer
right.
and secretary. I think this year, we dropped the secretary position altogether. So I don't know the Roberts rules of it all, but I don't know if you need a treasurer in order to have a
Well, I was
commission.
going to throw Commissioner Hubbard under the bus. As the other person, I think, who volunteered to be on the budget committee back when we were thinking about having one.
Oh, see, so that was an idea then. Okay, I didn't completely misremember that. Okay.
And also, I think the third most senior person on the commission who hasn't already held a leadership. You can say no.
No, it's fine. It's okay. If I'm nominated and appointed to it, I'll step in that role. I'll do my time.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it does not.
Well, I mean, that means I will leave quite a legacy as a staff liaison to have it be removed from the staff person responsibility, so.
Oh, my gosh.
He's taking
Well,
it under control.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Kaylee, for nominating Martin and encouraging him to be a leader. Although he's already a leader, but to be an officer, not even an officer. Never mind. Martin, you don't have to be our treasurer because it is a de facto position that the city takes care of. So it's okay if you say no.
I will volunteer to be on the budget committee.
Oh, all right.
And then if what is her name, Elise? Does not, or she wants someone to step in that role, I will step in that role. I realize there's nothing to do but look at a piece of paper and say it's
It's the
approved.
best officer position ever.
I don't do anything. I sit in that role on every committee I'm on, actually.
Oh, of course you do.
I
That's
don't do
hilarious.
anything with it.
Well, thank you. Is there anybody else who wants to be our treasurer? If not, then the nominations are closed, having heard no other recommendations. So,
That tabled for next month then, is that?
no,
We're-
no, I think
What's that?
Martin is going to be our treasurer. Oh, we have to vote.
Yeah.
All those in favor of Martin being our treasurer for the next year signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Congratulations, Martin.
Thank you.
You're very,
How many organizations are you treasurer of?
Quite a few.
So you're an expert.
Yeah, an expert at just looking at the prepared budget that's already made. I'm good at that.
I don't, this one I'm not sure on. Do you have to have a first and second for that? 'Cause
I think
you-
we're okay since
Okay.
it's not a council approved.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Right. So I'd like to open the nominations for vice chair. Are there any nominations to be vice chair?
I've been very impressed with our chair-vice chair combination in the past year, and think you are doing an excellent job of bringing new ideas to the commission. So if you would accept it, I would like to nominate Kaylee as the vice chair again for 2022.
Lord, thank you. Someday I hope to fill big shoes.
Does it need a second? I will second that.
So, motion made by Jen, seconded by Martin to nominate Kaylee to be our vice chair for 2022. I guess maybe I should ask you, are you willing to serve in that position?
Yes, I'm willing to serve.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of nominating Kaylee for our vice chair signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carry. I'd like to open the nominations for chair of the commission.
I think following up on what Jen said, I would really like to see what Commissioner Carlson does when she has a full, Chair Carlson does when she has a full commission of people to do the work instead of barely making a quorum for several months in a row. So I would nominate Commissioner Carlson if she's willing to serve again as chair.
I'll second that.
Thank you for your vote of confidence. Yes, I'll be happy to serve. Are there any other nominations for chair? Having heard none, all those, and there's no further discussion, all those.
No one asked you, do you want to be the chair?
Yes, I do want to finish this year.
See, I put you on the spot. How do you like it? I'm just kidding. I had to make you smile.
You could see it underneath my mask?
I could.
Good for you. Let's see, officially, back to Robert's rule. Let's see, there was a nomination made by Kaylee, seconded by Sienna? No, seconded by Hannah, thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carry.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. I look for, well, more importantly, I look forward to working with each of you this year. We've got some great work ahead of us, which kind of takes us, transition us right over to committee establishment. And this really is the work of our commission. By having these committees, the bulk of the work can be done away from us because of our time constraints. We only meet once per year. And really,
Once per month.
I'm sorry, thank you.
Well, it's easy to be the chair then.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is.
Almost as easy as prayer.
Gosh, I've lost my chain of thought. So,
Committees, yep.
committees, we're on committees. The committee work is really, it gets down to the details. Those of you who've worked on committees, you know that sometimes we dive into those details way too much, but we do that in order to have a terrific program to present to the community. We have two organizations, or two city organizations that are our partners. One is the Chaska Parks and Recreation staff and the Chaska Police Department. We've worked closely with Parks and Recreation staff to do events in the past. They are available to work with us again. And of course, the Chaska Police Department is also our partner and can offer a unique perspective to some of the activities that we're contemplating. So with that thought in mind, we've got established committees. We've got the MLK celebration, which is responsible for putting together the programming and the details to do the annual event in January. Last year, we established that we wanted to offer green card voices and some type of educational opportunity in conjunction with the green card voice panels of immigrant stories. Last year, we determined that the Pride celebration was really important. It was a step that we had not taken in the past. We received so much positive feedback about it. I really think that that's a great program that requires planning. River City Days, it's our presence. We have a booth, we're there, we hand out fans, we're the only vendor there that hands out free fans. River City Days is the hottest day of the year, and those fans are just a welcome, and it's a great way to get folks coming to our table to talk. Webpage. We probably need to do some work on our webpage again. We had a budget committee last year that took us from $2,000 to $5,000. With your guidance, Martin, I anticipate an increase in our budget for 2023. So good luck with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's going to back out of this very quickly.
Empathetic response in 2021, we prepared several letters that were presented to City Council, again, in our role of advising City Council members of issues that warrant their attention and that needed to have the city's position very clearly stated. So those are the committees, and in the past, we have said, please think about how you want to be part of a committee, or, and let us know by March, at our March meeting. And I can say all of that is terrific, but I need your help in moving forward with the Green Card Voices programming. That has taken a great deal of my time this past month trying to nail those details down. There's lots more to how to build a program around Green Card Voices. So I would need volunteers this evening to work on Green Card Voice programming. That will be the entire month of April. Excellent.
And you can only have 2, right?
If I continue.
Okay.
And so I've got many details associated with the event. So I would like to continue as a part of the Green Card Voices programming committee. But if there's somebody else on this commission that wants to take over.
Take over, but I just have a clarifying question about the committees.
Yes.
I'm happy to be on Green Card Voices if you need another person, but.
You heard it.
For last year, I think most, except for River City Days, most of the events all fell under the programs committee. Is that what we're doing? Are we splitting out, having a Pride committee?
I love that idea, honestly, because it gets more people involved in different programs as opposed to
Yes.
having 3 people on a program committee that has to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that idea too.
Because I'm all over Pride.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Can you explain that
So,
again?
yeah, so last year, we had an MLK committee and a River City Days committee, and all the other events just fell under the programs committee. And so I was wondering if that's what we're doing again, or if we're having a committee for Green Card Voices and Pride and River City Days separately. And it seems like folks were saying they like the latter option,
Right.
instead of one group planning.
Absolutely. I think it just brings different ideas to how we can participate in an event. I really like that idea. Yeah. So I think I've heard that I have 2 members of the commission ready and willing to work on Green Card Voices.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, would you like to contemplate what role you would want to play in other committees, and come back in March ready to sign
think-
up? Or would you like to commit to something tonight?
You should commit tonight, or you should appoint them, because what happened last time, no one volunteered, and it drug on month after month. This is what I got up last year. I think we should either appoint them, and then when you have the committee, someone should be in the voice of that committee when they come back and report, instead of everyone looking at each other. But, sorry.
Could I make one more suggestion, though?
Yes, please.
I like different people on the different events, but I think it would still be good to have a committee that's thinking of new events, whether it's calendar programs or something, just so we're, maybe that's the program committee, I don't know, or calendar committee, but.
Absolutely.
I agree that the calendar and the program committee should be one.
Yeah.
Maybe we just call it the calendar committee.
Maybe we could just call it calendar.
I'm nominating
Commissioner
Commissioner
Would
Carson,
that
I
fall
would
under
like to join
guest
the
speaker
Pride
presentation?
No, I think we can keep guest speaker presentations off that, so that, well, or not. You know, last year when we set that up, it was because we didn't have people wanting to come and talk to us. And so we were reaching out into the community, asking organizations to come. Things are a little bit different this year, since we now have 4 different groups calling and saying, hey, I want to get on the agenda somewhere this year. So, I don't think that we have to have guest presentations under programming. But it could be. But I don't think it's necessary. Oh, I'm sorry.
I would like
Please.
to join the Pride Celebration Committee as well.
Excellent.
And I'm always looking for an excuse to hang out with Kevin. So I'm happy to do website, and I can also be treasurer junior to Commissioner Hubbard.
You say treasurer, junior.
Like on the budget?
I meant budget, yes. Yes,
Yeah,
that's what
I was
I
going to
meant.
say, if you could do budget, that would be.
I like treasurer
That's what I
junior.
meant.
We'll put Treasurer Junior on the website as part of your website committee role.
Please do not.
Yeah.
You do not want me actually, I can do a budget, but you don't want me in charge of any of that.
So I'm happy to jump in here. I'm willing to do website as well. I have some experience with that, using some different tools. And if you are doing calendar committee, I'd love to join you there as well.
And I don't think I'm speaking out of turn. If you don't know tonight and you want to think about it, that's fine as well, correct?
That is correct.
Because you've got your posse for green card voices.
Right. Gosh, nobody's just talking about River City Days. Huh.
I was on that committee last year.
Yeah.
No, it was just
I can
me.
do
The
that.
rest of
I
my
mean-
people left.
You want to do that?
Sure.
Oh, Hannah, great.
And just so you know, even if you're not on the committee
Oh, we're
for
on it.
River City Days,
Oh, yeah.
plan on volunteering for at least part of the weekend. We usually do shifts so people can sit at the table at different times. But the committee does kind of the planning of what's going to be at the booth and if we're going to have some sort of display or something to educate the public, or an interactive game, or, you know, something. But everyone gets to be a part of the actual weekend.
And for those that may be new to the community or not sure when that weekend is, it's the 29th through the 31st of July.
Oh, never mind. I have to take myself off of that committee. It's my wedding anniversary.
I bet your wife will be down there
I'm like,
too, though.
Councilperson Hubbard isn't going to be there?
So it's very difficult for me to be outside during the summer. So I
It's okay.
would probably be able to be there a little bit, but not long. So I would be willing to do a lot back end beforehand, but probably not be able to be outside, especially the last weekend of July, more than just a
It's always the
little
hottest
time.
weekend,
Yeah.
too, so.
But, you know, I don't know enough about what happens to say what committee to be on, so I'm happy to do whatever you guys think would be good. And just so you know, I am a published author and a writer, so I'm always happy to jump in and help write or edit things, anything that needs to go out.
Like empathetic response.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And then obviously, I'd like to work on trying to handle that, whatever we're going to do, if we do something about the teacher learning book anti-racism event. And pride is very important to me, so if there's room to work on that one. But I don't want to say which commission, because I don't know enough, so I'm happy to just be plugged in wherever you guys think.
I think
Excellent.
Pride is good.
Yeah.
I think so. I
Okay.
think so. I think last year, I think the two of you, from what I've heard, would be great on that committee.
Thank you.
Which one?
Pride.
Pride, the Pride.
Oh, totally,
Pride
yes.
celebration.
That would make three.
Who's
What
the,
was the third one?
Kaylee?
Kaylee already said she would like it, too.
When I was in law school, my internship was at Promo in Missouri, fighting against the amendment to ban gay marriage. And I was the only person who thought we could possibly overcome it. And I was devastated. Nobody else was. I was. So.
Well, and even if you're not on the committee and go to the committee meetings, you're always welcome to talk to a committee member if you have ideas about something, that they can talk about at the smaller meetings.
And we do bring those plans back to the greater group for discussion and feedback, so.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
My daughter still calls that park Superman Ice Cream Park, so.
That was some baller ice cream. It was really good.
It sure was.
Chair Carlson scoops a mean.
I did
mean ice cream
sprinkles.
cone.
I did sprinkles. I did the sprinkles.
Those are important.
Very important, absolutely.
I
Okay,
would be happy to put my name on for the MLK committee for now, and then consider other options when other people have gotten to think about it too.
okay. So this will be something that you can send out on our behalf, Kevin, and where we have opportunities to fill in.
So just to make sure I have, currently Green Card Voices is full. We have Commissioner Zayak, right? Zayak?
Yep.
Did I say that right? Okay. Commissioner Zayak, Commissioner Sanderson, and then Sanderson, sorry. And then Commissioner Carlson. And then for Pride, we have Commissioner Zayak, Commissioner Fillmore, Commissioner Haga. Okay. River City Days, currently just Commissioner Sanderson. Commissioner Hubbard then too.
Yeah, I can plan it. Yeah.
So we have one open position on that one still, okay? And then website, we have Commissioner Haga, Commissioner Kamen, and two so far.
That's probably all we need.
Yeah, okay. And then currently, no one for guest speaker presentations or empathetic response.
Oh, empathetic.
Did we? Okay. We did,
I
okay.
think they put me on that.
Okay. Well, I heard the whispers of it, and that's why I wanted to confirm. I wanted to make sure
I
you
will,
also knew
yes,
you
I
were
will
on
do
there.
that one. Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
And for our calendar committee, I think Tracy, Commissioner Kamen. Did you get that? Kevin?
Yes,
Oh, okay, great.
just the one?
For right now,
Yeah, okay. So open, there's, okay,
Oh.
yeah, okay, that's,
So it's the calendar/program, is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
New things.
Yep.
I think it was going to be named calendar, but programs were going to kind of fall under that.
Yep.
Oh, you got them filled up.
And then budget, we have
The budget?
Martin and Kaylee.
Right. All the bills, y'all.
Budget and
Treasurer
budget
Junior.
Okay. Wow.
Some great energy in the room tonight. Chair Carlson.
Absolutely. You can tell that our meetings are lively, informal, try to get the work done. So I can't wait till I see you next month on March 24th, 2022. We'll be in this room. Zoom will be available if you choose to do that. In the meantime, those of us who are going to be working on committees will be in touch, and can't wait. Anything else?
Chair Carlson, you do have 8C here still. I don't know if we touched on that already, the green card voices. I know it was discussed in the establishing the committees, but it's also a separate item as well.
Green card voices, currently, we've got a cost of $1,000. That will bring us if you've seen that exhibit, they provide us with panels featuring immigrants that have come to Minnesota. There's a QR code on the panel itself, which allows us in our tech world to scan that and hear more background information from the individual that's featured on that panel. In addition, Green Card Voices is willing to come and provide an overhead managing fee and speakers for an additional $700 to $900. Now, we have officially gone over the budget at that point. There's a couple of alternatives that the committee can kind of pursue. The overhead managing fee to have a panel discussion, including 2 or 3 authors from the book. And this book is called Green Card STEM Voices, Stories from Minnesota Immigrants. Each author would receive a fee, it would cost us $200 for each author, and then the overhead managing fee that Green Card Voices would provide to us. The Chaska Community Center gallery space, where we propose to have the panels, is available to us at no cost during the entire month of April. So it would be April 1st through 31st. The Chaska Community Center Theater, or the large community room there, which is now called the Brick City Room, would cost us a varying cost of $105 to $180 for 3 hours of time. So, as I said, we budgeted $1,800 for this event last year. We asked for an additional, and we received money from the Chaska Rotary that we can spend, and the anonymous donation, but we still are probably over cost. So I think that in the committee, we need to talk about the panel discussion. I'm thinking that we could, as an alternative, ask members of our community that have immigrated to Minnesota, that reside in Chaska, to talk about their immigrant experience, as opposed to having somebody come through Green Card Voices. Now, that's just an option. There is another organization that's reached out to me that has offered their expertise. It is called the Mikasa Community Organization. And they are willing to work with us at a fee, I don't know yet, but to bring members of our community to a setting where we can have a program an educational program, which for me sounds pretty exciting. But of course, the easiest thing would be just to pay the fees to Green Card Voices, and we could all sit back and enjoy the program. But I don't think that that completely reaches out to our community. And I think that's really important. So,
What's the total cost if you have the speakers from Green Card Voices?
900, approximately $2,300.
I think having members of our own community who are immigrants would be really powerful. I'm not on the commission, so, I'm not on that committee, but would certainly help in finding in folks if it came to that. The other piece that I just want to say is, so Chaska Middle School East hosted Green Card Voices Junior this fall, and I had a chance to go. It's teenagers who are immigrants within Minnesota, and that was really powerful. And those kids had they had some questions and things around that. So I think if we're looking to do some facilitated conversation with a panel that's locally, there may be some resources from the middle school program that we could
Excellent.
use to not reinvent the wheel.
Great. So the direction I needed tonight was, if you feel passionately, or if you feel that we can provide a programming with members of our community, or you feel like we should just go with the Green Card official presentation. That will kind of help direct the committee where their efforts need to go in terms of preparing this programming.
I think we'd see increased attendance if it was speakers from our own community, to be
I
honest.
believe that also.
PASA would be supporting us in in facilitating those conversations, is that right? Once we identify the community members who would be willing to serve as
Exactly.
panelists.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, and we have enough time, because this is in April.
This will be April, so sometime in April, for this kind of a community gathering, yes, sometime during the month. Obviously, we'll have to make sure that the space is available at the community center, whether or not the theater there at the community center is the better venue, as opposed to having it in a large community room. Obviously, the fee increases for the theater, but yeah, I think local community programming is better.
I agree. Do you use Facebook to reach out to the community?
Yes. Through the city's page, yes.
So you use the city communications?
But I think we all use our personal networks a lot too. And I know I have lots of connections to both the Latino and the Somali community here, so I'm sure you do too.
Yeah,
I know Jen does, so.
So I hope it's not conflict of interest. I'm on a board of directors of a Romanian organization that promotes Romanian, American Romanian values in the U.S., like in Minnesota, and immigrant stories, right? They created 2 documentaries, and one of them is Behind the Iron Curtain from Romania. So if anyone is interested, is on TPT. If this, and I'm not saying that documentary specifically, but we could take a movie as well, or a documentary to go along with this. And that is free of charge. Like, it can be viewed anytime by anyone. It could be just, we could do a screening of it. That's an option.
It's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
And we can even just promote, encourage people to watch that, even if we can't find a date to watch it as a
Yes.
group
Yep,
event,
absolutely.
but just to go along with the focus of immigration in Chaska and stuff,
And
as
it is
kind of a theme.
oral history, it is storytelling, and it speaks to Green Card Voices, which, and with the the president or executive director of Green Card Voices is one of the person who's being interviewed in the documentary, Taya Rosman. And she actually has this amazing quote there. She says, if you don't tell your story, someone else will. So you want to make sure that you tell your story the right way, like your story, not someone else's.
Absolutely.
Can you say the name again of the documentary?
Beyond the Iron Curtain from Romania. And it was a TPT documentary, and it was produced about 4 or 5 years ago.
Great.
And one thing we did with the transfer of memory,
Yeah.
we had some DVDs that were provided to us, and we played those on the city itself has 2 local channels that get played on Comcast that we operate. So if there aren't any rights restrictions within TPT to use the video, we can also play it on our channels for Comcast subscribers to be able to watch at given
Absolutely.
points during
And
them.
I can inquire, there are 2, this is the second documentary. The first one is $1,000 and Back, and was actually produced about the early immigration of Romanians in Minnesota, specifically Minnesota, so this is where we're talking local, but it's between 18 and 1900s, up
Okay.
to 1989, well, a little bit earlier than that, but yeah. Yeah, that would be lovely.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm excited about this commission that we have right here, because there's all these new ideas that are coming out and discussions that we're having, and so I think we're going to do some great things this year.
I think so too. Okay. Anything else we need to discuss tonight? Having heard none, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion
second.
made. Is there, Kaylee, seconded by Martin. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.